Welcome to the Movie Summary channel. If you like the featured video, please watch it in the theaters near you, or buy or rent the original movie from the links provided in the description. Like and share the video as it will help us out, and comment on what movies you like to be featured next. Movie Summary does not condone piracy and follows and complies with the fair use law. Now, let's watch the featured video. Simply sit tight, relax, and enjoy the video. Be aware that there is heavy spoilers ahead. We opened to 5 years ago as professional diver Jonas Taylor tries to rescue a group of divers from a wrecked submarine.
Who's there?
Jonas succeeds in getting some of them on board, including Dr. Heller, but something starts attacking the sub violently.
The sub is starting to collapse! Hurry, please!
This forces Jonas to make a difficult decision against Heller's protest to abandon the submarine in order to escape certain death.
If we go back, everyone dies. Everyone!
They escape just in time as the unseen force destroys the submarine and disappears. Cut to present day at Mana 1, an underwater research facility off the coast of China. It is operated by a group of scientists spearheaded by Jack Morris and Dr. Minwei Zhang, and run by Zhang's daughter Cyan.
Xinjian Dao now.
Let's go.
Why don't we go?
Remote Explorer DJ. Jax heard the aforementioned Dr. Huller, Mac, Celeste, Toshi, and the Wall.
She ever blew up a whaling ship with a homemade torpedo.
Hey.
That is a good hire.
11.
They are conducting an experiment near the ocean floor involving bypassing a mysterious hydrogen, using a small submarine piloted by Celeste, Tosh, and the Wall, and exploring what's beneath.
Blow it up now.
Lights deployed. You guys, we are through.
I have multiple small
All seems well at first, but the trio is attacked and stranded by something large and fast, causing them to lose contact with Mana 1.
Jonas was right, you caught.
Toshi?
They later try getting power back up and running.
See, works every time.
But are attacked again, and Celeste is wounded by a screwdriver getting rammed into her stomach.
Turn out the lights.
The rest of the crew, after much debate, decide to take Mac's advice and call Jonas in to help rescue their stranded friends due to his experience with rescuing people from such a deep, dangerous area of the ocean. However, Heller is against this as he thinks Jonas went crazy from his traumatic experience 5 years ago, and doesn't believe Jonas' claims that something attacked him and the divers he was trying to rescue. The plan goes ahead regardless. Unfortunately, Jonas has clearly seen better days, as he's seen in a Thai bar drinking regularly and pissing off local boat owners whom he keeps blowing off repairing their boats.
Because I drink too much.
Mac and Dr. Zhang meet with Jonas back in his room. Jonas at first tries to weasel out of the situation by offering the two drinks and quite genre-savvily preemptively rebuking any offers of money.
And I'm gonna say no, because I don't have one. So
In the end, however, he agrees to come along and help.
It's Lori.
Meanwhile, Cyan tries to go down.
Ballast tanks blow, you're gonna die too. We have to try.
and rescue the trapped crew herself in a mini-sub shortly after Jonas arrives. Jonas takes off after her to help, but not before promising Cyan's young daughter Maying that he'll bring her mom back safe and sound.
No time. I promise.
Cyan quickly finds the stuck sub and preps to tow them back to the surface when a giant squid attacks her.
Glider. Warning, capsule pressure.
Before it looks like her sub will be damaged, the squid is quickly killed by the culprit of the previous attack. A 75-foot-long prehistoric monster shark called a Megalodon.
So glad I'm not crazy.
This shark is the same one Jonas encountered 5 years back that almost killed him, thus proving his sanity. Jonas briefly lures the shark away with some flares and has Cyan escape back to the surface.
No. Damn it.
Tell me this isn't the world's best I told you so.
He succeeds in getting Celeste and the wall on board his vehicle.
Come on, I got you.
However, the shark comes back for another attack, and Toshi sacrifices himself so the others can escape, stuffing a goodbye letter to his wife he was writing earlier into the walrus pocket. The shark rams the down second sub, killing Toshi, while everyone else gets to safety.
Dr. Heller has vital...
Heller later apologizes to Jonas for not believing his claims.
You can call it even.
The situation isn't over yet, as the sub's destruction has caused a temporary pocket of heat to vent upwards and allow the shark to move to normal ocean waters.
Hey, look, we're wasting time. Nothing's out there.
While Jonas tries to leave, and everyone else talks amongst themselves, Ming is playing with an RC ball through the holes, but is frightened by the sudden appearance of the shark. The shark tries to bite through the hull but fails.
Jonas!
Did you see Mia?
There's a monster and it's watching us.
And leaves after killing a whale. The group ultimately decides to track and poison the shark to death via a small boat.
Need to get there, now.
One fish did all this?
And the score.
At first, they succeed in tracking it using Jonas to shoot the tracker onto its fin and then reel him back in.
Stop! Stop! No vibration!
Jonas is coming at you.
You think I didn't notice?
Just barely avoiding getting eaten by the shark. Then Sign goes down in a plastic tank to poison it while the others lure the shark in with chum.
So you know, taste good.
This leads to an intense confrontation where the shark tries to swallow the cage whole with her in it. She succeeds in poisoning the shark, but her mask breaks and she nearly drowns. Jonas dives in after her, and they almost get eaten by the shark. Fortunately, the poison kicks in and the shark dies. Jonas gets Sign back aboard, and they resuscitate her back to life. The crew initially celebrates by taking pictures of the wall with the shark's corpse before he falls into the water due to a prank from DJ. Jonas, however, notices the shark's teeth are smaller than the one from earlier.
We got the wall in the wall.
This is clearly meant to buy a smaller, younger Megalodon they killed. Suddenly, the other bigger shark from before arrives, swallowing the wall whole and grabbing the other Meg's corpse off the boat with its teeth. This causes the boat to get capsized, and Dr. Zhang is severely injured in the process.
How the hell should I know? Just hurry up and
What is wrong with you? I can't swim. It wasn't part of the job description. None of this was part of the job description.
The shark comes back around to try and eat Jax.
We're not gonna make it.
But Heller sacrifices himself by distracting the shark to him instead, and he gets eaten.
okay?
What the hell was that?
Okay, come on, DJ.
No! Pissed it off. Now it's going to come back and kill every one of us.
Yes! Good news, guys. It's payback time.
The surviving crew escape using motorboats, and Morse calls in a support helicopter to shoot at the shark, successfully chasing it away.
You seriously think that a rifle is gonna hurt that thing?
However, Dr. Zhang dies from his wounds in the boat, but not before tearful last words of pride to his daughter.
What the?
Later that night, Morse tells the crew that they are shutting down Mono 1, and the authorities in multiple Asian countries have been called to deal with the shark.
Thanks for saving our asses!
However, it turns out he's lying through his teeth, and he actually called in some minor military support to try and kill the shark on his own using depth charges dropped from the helicopter.
I'm not getting eaten by some goddamn prehistoric fish.
Affirmative, sir.
He goes out on a boat with some others, and it seems to work at first, only for it to turn out they just blew up and killed a whale by accident instead.
What?
I think we killed a whale.
Luring some nearby regular sharks, and later the MEG, who scares them off to feast on its corpse. Morse gets knocked off the escaping boat and tries to climb up the dead whale, only to be eaten whole by the shark. The crew finds out the shark is heading for a nearby popular beach in China,
Populated beaches in the world.
and plans to lure the shark away from the beach with whale noise recordings,
Right here.
You ask it out for dinner.
and then torpedo it to hell with the mini-subs. The shark initially attacks a nearby Chinese wedding party on another boat and seemingly eats the bride's dog Pippin, before briefly terrorizing the locals at the beach. It stops attacking when it hears the whale noises and takes the bait.
Get out of there! Jesus.
This leads into a massive chase between Jonas and the shark, as he leaves it to Sign, who hits it with a torpedo. But it does nothing. Even worse is that Jonas' torpedo won't fire. During the fight, a group of news helicopters trying to film the action stupidly crash into each other, and the wreckage crashes onto the team's boat, forcing everyone into the water.
Oh my God!
Flashing!
Sign goes to help the others.
Take care of my
You have a life jacket on.
A life jacket.
Yep. I'm okay. I'm okay too.
While Jonas, in an attempt to protect everyone, goes head-on with the shark, slicking its underbelly open badly with the sub. He then gets out of the sub once the shark tries mauling it and stabs it through the eye, mortally wounding it. A dozen regular sharks move in to finish it off and eat it alive, ending the threat. With the danger past, everyone regroups aboard the wedding couple's boat, including Pippin the dog, who turned out to have survived. Jonas and Cyan are presumably now a couple, their romance being hinted at throughout earlier in the movie. The movie ends with everyone celebrating their victory, and the oceans are now safe. Then the movie ends.
My God.
Thank you for watching our featured video here in Movie Summary. I hope you have enjoyed watching our videos. Please like and share this video on your social media and subscribe to our channel to help us grow. Comment down below on what movies you like to be featured next and click the notification bell so that you will be notified every time we post new videos. Bye for now and see you in the next upload of our next videos.